and I've mentioned it before on this podcast 1,000%. It's the biggest struggle I find is trying to balance everything and still have a life. You know, I'm 26. I've got a relationship. I've got friendships. I've got hobbies.
She's got one friend.
No, hobbies are pretty much non-existent, to be honest.
So you pretend I go swimming on the Thursday.
We don't have time for any of that. I thought I was like maxed out, and then Elise said, why don't we do a podcast? And I thought that was a good idea. And now we're going into June, and that was absolutely not a good idea.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Coffee Shop Podcast.
It feels good to be back.
Feels good to be back. We're going to dive right into it, aren't we?
Yep, we are.
Do a bit of a get to knows.
Yep. We thought, what could we do for an episode where we can just chit chat and we can be our bubbly selves.
Yeah.
And of course, we thought the best topic for that
is talking about us.
Ourselves.
I mean, what can we talk for hours about?
One thing. Me.
No, joke. But when we put it on the page, we got so many questions.
I was actually gobsmacked with the questions, which is really nice.
It is really nice, and we thought, why not?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to, like Elise said, we're not going to waste any time because we've got quite a few questions to get through.
Yeah.
And also, side note, we are going to hopefully post some to Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah,
well,
once we couldn't get round to.
Yeah, obviously we don't want to bore everyone with a super long episode.
Yeah.
So, shall I just go
for it?
Pick a crazy question?
Crazy
Okay,
question.
this one, Elise, this is for you.
God, I knew you were going to do it. She always does this.
This is Elise. Were you scared to do something so different to what you had been studying at uni?
Yes, I was petrified.
Yeah, you said that before.
But I also think I kind of just landed into what I'm doing. I always thought I would take a little bit of a break and then I would try and find my journalism job. But that wasn't the case, and that's not what happened for me. And
just
that's
not how
completely
it worked out.
fine.
Yeah.
But I think once you go to uni, you spend all that time focusing on the next step that you kind of don't realise that there is other options. You don't have to just do that.
Yeah, and it's okay to change your mind.
Yeah.
It's never, ever too late to maybe be like, do you know what, actually, like, this isn't for me, or I want to do something completely different.
I was saying as well, I did a booking at school the other day, and when I went in, everyone was so young, and I was thinking, you have to decide the rest of your
I think from the maybe not like reception, but you are constantly making decisions about your life when you're at school, college, and that's like a lot on young people's shoulders.
But it is, even from reception, it's always like, oh, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Oh, like, or if you're like quite
I'm
artsy
2-year-old, I don't know.
And it's like, oh, you're going to be like this when you're older, and it's like, maybe just rather than sort of
put that on people,
like putting that pressure.
Like how to be like, what do you enjoy doing?
Yeah,
like, do you enjoy doing this? Do you enjoy doing that? But it's more like, what are you going to be? Like,
exactly.
Like, I don't know, like,
just leave me in the sandpit.
Yeah, like I was build sandcastles. I'm not ready for a big job.
4 getting picked up by your mum crying.
Mum, what do I want to be when I grow up? I don't know. But that's what it's like. It's like you're drilled into you from
it is.
the beginning to even like when
your prime example that you can completely change direction. You can completely change direction, and it's absolutely fine, because if you imagine, God, if you hadn't have ever changed direction, like, we wouldn't be here right now.
I know.
So
you're thinking, why did you change direction?
My nights would be free again.
I know, but I think that is, I was nervous, really nervous.
Yeah, it's a scary thing.
Yeah, I was also saying, when I was in school, we always got drilled into us that the smart things were like English and maths and science, and we had to do the bloody English baccalaureate. I don't even think that exists anymore.
What is that?
So you had to pick, if you, in a certain set, you had to pick either French or German or something, history or geography, and then, was it something else? I can't really remember, but I remember thinking, I don't enjoy any of these
subjects, and they're not me.
Yeah, I could have done something else I enjoyed and got better grades.
Yes, so true.
Just because you're not like intellectual doesn't mean that you're not good at something else. But I feel like it's not encouraged enough. And when you go to college, it's always like, what are you going to do next? And like, you're still pressured to think you have to do intellectual things or things that are classed as intellectual.
Like, listening to you say that, that's so true. And it's like, you're never encouraged to just be in the moment and just, you know, get to know yourself. Like, do you ever remember being at school and a teacher being like, just take this time to get to know yourself and like see what you enjoy?
Can we have some yoga?
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to do a lesson on self-care.
Yeah. Everyone get their face masks. That needs to be a lesson. It needs to be.
No, but I think it's really good to highlight that you were scared.
Yeah, I was scared. But at the end of the day, I'm just stressing that you can change your mind. If
it's okay.
It's someone who likes bacon, are you someone who likes...
I thought you said bacon. I thought, well, I mean, I love bacon. Am I in the wrong industry?
Bacon is good for me. You're not going to catch me in those little high heels.
I'm leaving.
Right, totally.
Okay, on that note, let's do another question. We said we were going to fly through these.
But I was nervous.
This one says, do you ever feel lonely being self-employed?
Yes.
Absolutely. And I think it's really important though, like, I don't feel lonely at work. Like, no, I have a lovely, lovely team that I spend every day with. So it's not that I feel lonely physically, like working. I think for me, it's probably more mentally.
Yeah.
It's when I'm overwhelmed or I'm stressed or I'm feeling a little bit anxious about certain things. That's when I feel lonely, and I think probably also a bit scared.
Yeah.
And I'm a little bit like, that's when I maybe do miss having someone that's above me that you can offload that to.
Yeah. That's why we love doing this, don't we? Because we both think the same. Although we don't do things that are similar, we come together and we're like, oh my God, like we both think the same.
Like, our businesses are on complete opposite ends of the spectrum. But we've definitely got closer over the years by the similarities of things that we go through.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, you still have the same daily, day-to-day struggles as each other. Yeah, Elise's might be over a flower wall and mine might be over a latte, but we still, at the end of the day, we come together, and every time we meet up for this, I'll be ranting to Elise about something, and then she'll be like, but that happened to me with this, and you're not alone. You just have to find
people around you that relate, and there's so many people who will.
True.
So if you do feel like you're on your own and what the hell's going on, there's always someone out there who feels the same.
Exactly. So it can be really, really lonely.
Yeah.
And daunting, but I would stress for that not to put people off, because like you said, there is other people that go through the same feelings every single day.
I agree. Should we do one more?
Yeah.
So someone has said, do you regret going to university?
No. I don't feel like I can say I regret it, because we had a blast.
I loved uni. Like, I loved every single second.
Funny memories and stories.
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe about the degree. Like,
I know, that's what I mean. Do you think uni's a bit of a scam?
No, not if you know what you're going for. So if you want to be a doctor or a teacher or, I don't know,
a lawyer.
Yes, something that you need the knowledge that you are going to learn over them 3-4 years, however many years your course is.
You're going to do the bar, go for it.
Yeah, exactly. You know that because of Kim K.
Yeah, definitely. And suits.
Then absolutely, it's not a scam.
Yeah.
To be fair, even if we wanted to be journalists, like, we learnt our shorthand, like, we learnt, like, media law, like, we would not have had a clue of any of that.
I know, but I feel like I just went to just give me some time to work out what I wanted to do.
This is probably the worst piece of advice I'm going to give on this whole podcast. But I do say to people, when I talk to them that maybe that at that age and they're a bit like, I don't know what to do, I'm like, even if you just go to give yourself a few more years to figure out what it is that you want to do.
I know, but then I just also think, is that worth getting in all this debt for?
That's why it's probably the worst piece of advice I could have ever given.
It's really hard. Like, in some ways, I think, wow, that was the best time of my life. I'm so glad it happened, because when you come into I sound old saying this, but when you come into the real world, it's just so not like that.
True.
The pressures are just completely different. You have to start thinking about bills and paying for this, paying for that, and having kids, starting a family. It's just so different. And being at uni, you're just so carefree, and you never ever.
You know that just a minute ago, and I was like, are you ever just told to be in the moment?
Yeah.
You live in the moment. Is that time to be in the moment?
It's like a Tuesday, and everyone's like, oh, we're going to go out, and
like, okay. And also, it's probably the first time when you live away from home.
Yeah.
So you feel like a proper adult.
Yeah.
And it's
even though you're totally not.
You meet like like, look at us.
I
Like, we'd have never known each other, and we literally are, like, best friends.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
Who would have thought we'd be starting a podcast together all them years ago?
I know. So it's hard. I think
we can't say we regret it.
I don't regret at all because it was the best time of my life.
Would
but
we
from
a business perspective?
Yeah.
Probably.
If I knew that this was what I want, but then at the same, I don't know. It's so hard.
It is hard because we are them people. We are really big believers in everything happens for a reason, and it's. I mean, I hate to relate it to this, but is it a little bit like the burnt toast theory on a big on like a bigger scale? Like, if we didn't go and if we hadn't have made friends, or even regardless of each other, like if you hadn't have gone and maybe there was something there that made you think, well, I'm gonna buy a flower wall. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
And I also think I went to another uni and I was going to do event. Was it event planning or something?
Was it
like
event
that?
management?
Event management.
Like you said. Yeah, I remember.
And I can remember I went with my mum and I was like, oh, Mum, I feel like this like relief has been taken off me because I don't have to do journalism anymore.
But well, mine was the same, but where I was going to uni, I originally applied to do sociology and criminology.
Just honesty,
Which now I just think that was not me. Like I would not have wanted to do that.
We both were in the same situation where we didn't get the grades to go and do that. This is why I think though that happened. But now I'm doing events, so I'm like,
you have come full circle.
Yeah, but then was the reason that we went to uni to meet each other and to do this.
Exactly. Like, maybe this podcast was what it was all for.
I know. Like
3
you don't
years,
know.
Unbelievable amounts of debt.
Yeah,
but we're here for a podcast.
Yeah. So I don't know. Everything. It's cliche, but does everything happen for a reason?
I think so.
So we do not regret
like us to believe in a quote, does it?
So on a whole, I do not regret uni.
No,
but
same. I'm with
from
you
a business perspective, probably wouldn't go.
Yeah,
I'd
if we were
just
talking
go and
business,
start your business,
was it the logical step for us? Maybe not.
But we wouldn't have known what we wanted to do anyway,
and we couldn't regret it because it was just such a buzzing time of our lives.
I love
that
this.
you can't regret that.
No, can't.
Shall we do another question?
Go for it.
You read it out if you want. You choose, and I've chosen like all of them.
Right, I'll have to put my thing over my eyes. How do you think of new ideas to keep your business fresh?
I knew you were going to choose that question. I knew it.
Well, there was only 4 on the specific page, so I was like, which one can I read without the sun blinding me?
I think for me, I don't know. I guess I probably do use other businesses as inspiration, definitely.
It's so hard.
Not even like potentially like specifically ones in York. I like try and follow a lot of other similar businesses all around the country, all around the world, and I just think, how can I maybe apply that to me or give it a bit of a spin and do something a bit similar if I think it's like a cool idea?
Yeah. For me, there's always something new every week. I think.
Yeah, I feel like yours is hard.
It's so competitive. Yeah. It's not competitive in a way that it's like negative. It's just you're always looking for the next best thing.
Yeah, you've got to be so on it.
Yeah, and everything's so expensive, so you just have to keep that little bit of pocket money like kept away to reinvest and reinvest.
But you even said that from day dot, really, like when you were just using the money at the very, very start, like the money you would make from like every few bookings and was then what you'd pop into like your next piece, like your next thing.
Nothing changes. It's just constant outgoings.
Yeah, literally. It's the same with this podcast.
We came up with this podcast.
Honestly, if anybody's noticed, yes, we've gone to one microphone. I'm basically shouting, leaning over.
I speak like a mouse, so this is really hard for me. I'm like,
the day that one episode works smoothly, I'll be sitting here in tears.
We're honestly at the end now, and we see it every week, but I think this is the icing on the cake.
Honestly, I'm up to, I feel like my mum, but I'm up to here.
I'm up to here. I haven't sat down all the
day. You know when like your mum used to be like, I've got this much.
Yeah.
Literally.
But we keep going. Next question. Come
okay,
on.
Sorry.
Every week we're like this.
How do you manage a work and social life balance? We don't.
Easy answer.
Next question. Non-existent. Social life, no. In all seriousness, obviously it is existent.
We've just been on about this as well when I got here, because you've had a bit of trouble.
Yes.
Yeah.
Trouble's the right
Trouble.
word.
A bit of trouble.
Just a little something.
A little bit of a breakdown.
Yeah, and a meltdown.
Yeah. Go
on. No, but for me, it is really, really hard. And I've mentioned it before on this podcast 1,000%. It's the biggest struggle I find is trying to balance everything and still have a life. You know, I'm 26. I've got a relationship. I've got friendships. I've got hobbies.
She's got one friend.
No, hobbies are pretty much non-existent, to be honest.
So you pretend I go swimming on a Thursday.
We don't have time for any of that. I thought I was like maxed out, and then Elise said, "Why don't we do a podcast?" And I thought that was a good idea. And now we're going into June, and that was absolutely not a good idea. No, I've definitely sort of this year, especially. So I'm heading into my 3rd year, and I've made it I'm making more of a conscious effort to find time for other things other than the coffee shop. It's really, really hard because it is a catch-22 situation where obviously I'm so invested in this coffee shop and I want it to do so well, but I'm also really, really conscious that I don't want to miss out on life as well. You know, I want to live. Yeah, and I want to be living and I want to be traveling and seeing my friends and doing all of that. But also this coffee shop's my livelihood. It's everything. Yeah. This is my baby. Like, this has to succeed. So it's really, really hard. To be honest, I've actually got in the habit of, I like hammer work for maybe like a period of time. And then I will say, right, I'm going to have 3 days in a row. And whether that be, right, we're going to go, like, obviously I just went to Lisbon last weekend. And it's worth it. Like, for me, then it's worth them really, really long days in a row, tiring myself out, because then I think, do you know what? I've got my Aperol, I'm in the sun, and it makes it all seem worth it. But it's hard. It's really hard to find the balance. It's really, really hard.
I honestly, every day I wake up and I think, is this going to be the rest of my life?
Yeah, same. And like, even on the days we do the podcast, obviously we do them in the coffee shop.
Yeah.
And they're a late night for me. Well, for both of us, obviously. Yeah. And in my head, all I'm thinking is, I've got to get up at 6 to drive back here in the morning. And it's like, it's so hard to stay motivated and to stay... Like,
I feel like it's just such highs and such lows. Like, there's no other way to describe it. So then fitting in everything when you almost can't switch off. So I went to go and see Harry Styles at the weekend. A big Harry fan. Hopefully Harry's watching this episode. And I had work on, and like, it's like relying on other people to be able to be there and collect things and step up. And sometimes it doesn't work out, so then you're still on your phone, or you're still... It's like you can't switch off almost.
Yeah. Prime example. So I was the same. On Sunday, I wasn't here for the day, and it was literally 24 hours. I went after work to London for one of my best friend's birthdays, and so I went like on the Saturday night. I was in London for the Sunday, and then I slept at my friend's on the Sunday, and I got the first... Well, it wasn't my first, it was like the 7:45 train out of King's Cross, so I got back here for 9:30, ready to open on the Monday. So it's literally one day that I wasn't here.
One day.
And
all I asked for is the one day.
And one of the guys, bless her, said she was messaging me on the Sunday night. She was like, you know, I'm like really not well. And obviously it's one of them things, she can't help being poorly. Yeah. But obviously in my head I'm thinking it's just one day, and like you can't, like you said, you can't switch off, and you have to be on your phone, because I was having to sort it out. Like, you know, if she couldn't make it into work on the Monday, I was like, well, I'm going to have to sort this out. Like, I'm going to have to cover it. And I remember she said to my girlfriend, I was like, I'm so sorry, girls. Like, I know I'm being really, really antisocial, but it's part of the job. You know, it's what you sign up for. It's being in that leadership role. That is, unfortunately, it's just part of the job. And I feel like I can't moan. Yeah. Because I feel like if I moan to people are going to be like, well, you chose to do this.
I know we did. We chose to do it.
And then it's really hard.
And I love it. Like, I do love it. I really do love it.
Absolutely.
It's just, that's one thing that maybe does get to me, is every weekend when you're seeing your friends go out and do stuff, and that can just be like last minute, oh, the weather's nice, like, let's go here. Absolutely. And you have to miss out on those things. But I always say time and time again to everyone, it's one of those where either you live your life day to day and you love what you do, and you're going to have to make that bit of a sacrifice. And for me, it's definitely worth it, because I think you can take that extra time off. You can have a bit more holidays after the busy period.
That's it. Like, I know for me, like, I just live for sort of like the end of October.
Yeah.
I get the October half term out of the way.
And this is when we decided to do the podcast.
Yes. We were like out for tea.
We were like, we've got
that
so much free time.
Yeah, and we were like, this is going to be brilliant.
We went away, didn't we? Yeah. And we had time to think about it, and we were like, let's do the podcast. And now it's summer, we're like,
yeah, every 2 weeks.
Yeah, every 2 weeks.
At a push.
And I'm like, Sophie, do you have any free time now? No. Elise, do you have any free time?
Yeah.
No.
Exactly.
But yeah.
So yeah, back to the question.
always think, find the balance. You need to
it's important.
make time for yourself.
Make it, like I said, I'm making it a conscious effort this year. I'm making a conscious effort this year to do that. And I think for your own sanity, for your own sake, try and find
We've
balance.
always said though, like your dad and I hate this. Like our age, do we say partner or boyfriend, our lad, our mush,
our lad, Jesus Christ,
our mush that up, our boil, our kid. No, is that your brother? I don't know. God.
I think that's your child.
Scrap that. No, you say walking, don't they? Walking. But anyways, I don't know what you call him.
I don't know. This is escalated. I don't even really know what's going on right now.
The human companion with me, he is like, could work every single day, no days off. Like, he loves it. And your dad's the same.
Yeah.
He loves it. And he's like, Sophie, like, why aren't you in the coffee shop?
I should be here 7 days a week, he believes.
He's like, I'll be having a movie night and Jason will be like, have you not got any work on today? I'm like, let me breathe.
Just let me chill.
But I think you add one or the other.
Yeah.
Me and Soph definitely live life. Live life. We are the other.
No, we are. And do you know what? Like, that's what we hope we can show a little bit through the podcast, is that, like, yes, you can give 99% of yourself to this business to make it successful. Work hard. Like, I literally say all the time, I feel like it's my motto when I'm at work, that I've burnt the candle. I'm like, I've burnt the candle at both ends. But do you know what? If by doing that you are living life a little bit as well, and still, then I'm going to burn that candle till there's no candle.
Burn the candle.
Yeah, just because it's a living life. And I think, when I'm in the moment and I'm tired and it's hard to be motivated, that's one thing. But then when I look back 2 weeks later, I'm like, it was worth it. Like, it was worth the going to London, the late at night and the early morning. It was worth it because I spent one of my best friend's birthdays with her. I celebrated with her. Yeah. Work survived. We were fine. And, we lived to tell the story.
Yeah. Love it.
Okay, shall we do one final question on here? I feel like we've got a lot to choose from.
Yeah.
And then maybe go on to a business confession.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, so this one's actually a bit of a juicy, like, spill the tea sort of question. So this says, have there been people that are close to you who did not support you at the beginning? Interesting.
No. I don't think so.
No, I don't think I have, to be honest. I can't say
I just think people are never going to be... A lot of people are like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, you can't just buy a flower wall and say you've got an events company. And I was like, who can?
Watch this space.
I was in the Gazette.
Like this holding your flower. Yeah. I've made it.
With one flower wall.
Available to hire.
Like, young girl opens a business and I'm just like, I have no idea what I'm doing.
It's just me and my flower wall. But I love that. Like, absolutely. That's just a prime example of how you can turn it into an empire.
Ooh, I like that.
No, I really don't think there was anybody. To be honest, I was so lucky. I had so much support and so much help and so many people with their advice that was just priceless, and I would never ever be where I am without any of that. I really wouldn't. And I always am really, really, like, conscious of myself that I never ever want people to think that I'm always like, it's me, it's my coffee shop, I've done this by myself. Because it is not. Like I always say, like, it's the team that work with me every single day. It's all the support, it's all the help, it's my friends, it's my family. Like, it says so few people for that door, but that is where, like, do you know what I mean? It is a complete joint effort here.
And everyone's so supportive on social media and everything. Like, all of my friends share everything I post, like everything I post.
And it goes a long way. Like, I know you even shared something on the coffee shop podcast story the other day, and it was like how you can help small businesses without spending a penny.
Yeah.
And it was things like sharing an Instagram post, tagging a friend in an Instagram post, leaving a review. all these things make a huge difference to small businesses. And even that is it's another way that people support you. And it goes such a long way, doesn't it?
It really does.
And even with the podcast as well, the amount of people that share every time we put a new episode out, and people like will tag us or share or tag their friends.
And we want to know how you listen, and we love that.
It makes such a difference. And it goes, like, you do not think it goes unnoticed, because we notice every single thing, don't we?
Yeah.
Like,
every single thing, we're like,
we're
send it, and we're like,
yeah, we drop it to each other, and you're like, have you seen this yet? Yeah. Have you seen that yet? And then we just basically cry together.
Yeah, we do. We're just like, whoop, whoop.
Okay, so shall we move on to this week's business confession?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, do you want to read it out?
Go then. Yeah, thank you for zooming right in, because I can't see a thing.
Did you notice how much?
Yeah, I was like,
okay, I'll scroll down for you when you need it.
Right. Oh, thank you.
I'll be like your
my
PA.
I spoke like you then, didn't I? PA.
Jason will be picking you up.
Right, so not really a story as such, just something to confess about the way I feel. I'm 29 and still don't know what it is I want to do with my life. I have a steady, stable job, but it's just not really fulfilling or where I expected to be at 29. I've been watching the podcast and I'm really inspired by you two girls putting yourself out there, and it's made me want to take the leap and start my own business. The only thing is, I don't know where to start and what I actually want to do. Do you have any advice?
Okay.
So
that's nice. I feel like that business confession does tie in really nicely with the whole episode.
It really does.
And it's like exactly what we were saying earlier. Like, it's never too late. Like, never ever feel.
I also think like 29, girl.
Yeah, like that is not old. No. Like, you literally have your whole life ahead of you still.
Yeah.
And to be honest, it probably comes down just to having that courage to take the leap of faith.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's so easy for us to sit here and just be like, you're 29, do it. Like, take the risk. But it's a huge deal, and it is a life-changing decision to start your own business.
I would advise to take a look at what you enjoy.
Yeah. Where do you find happiness?
Yeah. And then, is there a hobby you enjoy? Is there something that you see someone else doing and think, oh, I'd like to give that a go?
Yeah.
Maybe like do a little mind map.
Yeah, like a vision.
Yeah, vision board.
And I would say as well, do your research.
Yeah.
That's probably something I definitely wish I'd done a bit more of. For me, I was sort of thrown in the deep end. This just came up and it was an opportunity too good to miss.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like if I'd have maybe done a bit more research beforehand, I'd have just been a bit more prepared. So yeah, I think like you said, that's definitely the first step, like finding out what it is that you enjoy, maybe what industry you'd like to be in. And then I would honestly just say research the hell out of that industry. Absolutely.
Because if you don't go for it, and if everyone waited till they were good at something, then no one would start anything with them. So you have to just go for it.
Very wise words.
Go for it. And we wish you all the luck in the world. And hopefully we can have like a little update on this story.
Yeah, that would be lovely. I do believe it's one of them when knowledge is power. So my one key advice that stands out when you've read that is research. The more you know about the industry, the more you're going to thrive in it. And I think, like I said, I'm going into my 3rd year, and I still now am learning so much every single day by doing this coffee shop and by following other accounts and other businesses, other small businesses. It's the best way to learn for me. Like we said earlier, like I'm a practical learner.
Yeah.
So yeah, like Elise said, take that leap of faith and
you go for it.
Grab it with both hands. And it's really, really exciting. And I'm really excited for you. And like Elise said, send us an update, because I actually love that, like, she said, like, she's been inspired by the podcast.
You said someone you know, didn't you?
So yeah, so obviously no names.
Accent, I don't know how
somebody I'm really, really close to, they reached out to me, and she just said this big message, she's maybe potentially thinking about a business idea. And at the bottom, she was like, P.S. This is what listening to a podcast has done to me. And I told you, didn't I? And we were like, I can't believe it.
Well, me and the girls, we went for a walk the other day along the seafront, and she had a little boy with her. And like, we were pushing him along, and he was just flat out in his pushchair. And we said, wouldn't it be a great idea, like a business idea, to have like adult ones where it's like, oh, do you want to have a nap? And like you get in the pushchair and someone just like takes you for a nap along the seafront.
The sea breeze in your hair.
Yeah, I was like, we need to do this. Imagine. I mean, in Hartlepool it rains most of the time, but I'll get one of them little covers with the little
like a rain cover.
Yeah,
so you can have the rain like pitter pattering.
They're beautiful
on the, you know, like when you hear it on the windows. Yeah. It's like,
I think that is a good idea. How much would people pay for this? Let's get
an idea.
The ball rolling.
Get Apprentice. Literally.
Love it. But yeah. So on that note, I think should we round it up?
I think so.
We're gonna do a few little posts of questions we couldn't answer because we did get quite a lot.
We have so many. And we said we'll post them to TikTok and to our Instagram.
And again, any business confessions that you have, please send them in.
Yeah, we love it.
They're the best part.
It's like the funniest part of the episode, isn't it? Yeah. And we love, like, we really enjoyed this episode because we love when people send stuff in. It's all about us. But we love it when people send stuff in, don't we?
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're loving it. And as always, we'll pop our social media and our Instagram handle in the description box.
So like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week. Well, we won't actually. We'll see you the week after.
Yeah.
See you the week after.
If we're still doing this and we've not quit.
Yeah, again. Bye.